Hello and welcome to National Focus for Wednesday, August 4, 2024. I am Julian Morris. In the headlines, IICA and Dominica celebrate 40 years of partnership. Dominica's tourism sector skills enhancement project underway. And adult education celebrates 54 years of service. The details of the headline stories and more when we return.
Ride safe, wear a helmet, safer roads in the nature aisle. This message was brought to you by the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Welcome back. To celebrate the 40th anniversary of technical cooperation with the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica, the Inter-American Institute for Cooperation on Agriculture Dominica delegation hosted an accountability seminar. The annual accountability seminar will not only highlight IICA's achievements of 2023, but also pay homage to the 40 years of existence on island and recognize the people responsible for the continued commitment of the development of agriculture and rural well-being. The IICA office in Dominica opened its doors on June 6, 1984, marking the establishment of the third Eastern Caribbean office. Since this time, the IICA delegation has led the delivery of the technical cooperation agenda in Dominica, working closely with many stakeholders in the agricultural sector.
Today, we celebrate IICA's history, its achievements, moreover, IICA's contribution to the development of agriculture sector and national development. Ladies and gentlemen, your presence here today is a testimony of IICA's partnership and stakeholder engagement approaches. I am sure many will join me when I say IICA contribution over 4 decades have been transformative. The organization has been responsive to the needs of the Commonwealth of Dominica: climate change, policy, agricultural health and food safety, and rural development.
IICA representative in the Eastern Caribbean states, Mr. Greg Rawlins, says this celebration gives IICA the opportunity to look back on the past 40 years.
As we come together to mark this milestone, we are cognizant that this commemoration is more than just celebrating the passage of time. It is also about reflecting on our work as an institute and the impact it has had on the agricultural sector, rural communities, and the country as a whole. Since its establishment 40 years ago, the IICA delegation has taken the lead in implementing technical cooperation program in the country, working in close collaboration with other agricultural sector stakeholders. Indeed, the Institute, through its delegation, has strived to be a constant companion on the path towards food security, economic resilience, and sustainable agricultural development.
Meanwhile, Minister for Agriculture, Fisheries, Blue and Green Economy, Honorable Roland Royer, says IICA has become part of the foundation in the ministry's journey of developing the sector.
40 years ago, IICA established its presence in Dominica with a clear mission to support agricultural development and enhance the well-being of our rural communities. Over these 4 decades, IICA has become more than just a partner. It had become a cornerstone to our efforts to modernize agriculture, introduce climate-smart practices, and develop new avenues such as agri-tourism. Through its unwavering support, IICA has helped to build the capacity of our farmers, agricultural professionals, and institutions, ensuring that Dominica remains resilient and forward-looking in the face of evolving challenges.
Honorable Roy highlighted some of the contributions IICA has made towards the development of agriculture in Dominica since establishing partnership.
The modernization of farming practices stand out as a major achievement, with the introduction of innovative techniques and technologies that have revolutionized how we approach farming. Climate-smart agriculture, in particular, has been a game changer, equipping our farmers with the tools and knowledge they need to adapt to the realities of climate change. In addition, IICA has played a pivotal role in rural development, working hand in hand with our communities to improve livelihoods and create opportunities.
Field Officer at the Adult Education Division, Carol Charles White, says the department has evolved quite a lot since its inception 54 years ago. The Adult Education Division, referred to in the early days as Night School, is now certified to train individuals using the CVQ syllabus.
We have been in existence since 1970. And yes, we have evolved because we started with night school. Well, those older folks remember we had night school, and then persons who couldn't read and write would come to learn to read and write, and that was it at that time. And then gradually it changed, and we started doing skills, and then we started doing CXC, basic maths, basic English. We were doing CCSLC at one point, and right now our skills programs, it's like participants are looking forward and they are eager towards accomplishing or getting involved in our programs, because right now we completed a Sky program that was in 2021 to 2023. We had a project where we trained up to 283 persons, young people, in different skills areas. And then now they are receiving their NVQ certificates. So, and then we, as the division, we continuing now in that trend where we were given a certificate permission, or we are now able to train persons through the civic syllabus. So when you're done with our skills program, you can receive a NVQ certificates.
The Adult Education Division has been instrumental in helping a number of individuals achieve their dreams. She says there are success stories to prove it.
We have a lot of our participants who have their own businesses, their own small businesses. There are many of them out there. So during the exhibition, we want to highlight them a bit. We want them to bring in their business cards and give them some promotion, because it is, and some of them are so, when they speak to us, it is so touching because they are so, happy that their lives have been transformed. Some of them, they keep coming to the programs and build on what we gave them. So they took it and they went out there and they did something for themselves.
Activities planned for this month include an Officers Literacy Day on the 11th, a book fair on the 13th, and the National Graduation Ceremony carded for September 18. This year's theme is empowering growth, building skills, and promoting continuing education to strengthen communities. 50 micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises in the accommodation and wellness sectors to receive training to increase their competitiveness. Dominica has been chosen as one of 18 beneficiaries of the current OAS Development Cooperation Fund programming cycle. From September 2 to 25, 2024, Dominica will conduct its Tourism Sector Skills Enhancement Project. The theme is Inclusive Resilience for an Effective Recovery. This project focuses on enhancing their digital presence and operational capacities, positioning themselves for success in today's competitive market.
This partnership with the Organization of American States and the Outsourced Development Studio, Inc. is a real opportunity to uplift our local businesses and breathe a new life into our community. By investing in the skills of our entrepreneurs, we are preparing for the challenges ahead and laying down a foundation for lasting positive change. This initiative has the potential to transform our tourism sector and in doing so enrich the experiences of everyone who visits our beautiful island.
Health Minister the Honorable Kasani Laville is advocating early screening in an attempt to promote early detection for men over 40 who may be at risk of prostate cancer. Prostate cancer is the uncontrolled growth of cells in the prostate, a gland in the male reproductive system below the bladder. Abnormal growth of prostate tissue is usually detected through screening.
The risk of being diagnosed with prostate cancer increases significantly after age 40. Men with a family history of prostate cancer are at high risk, and studies show that black men are more likely to develop prostate cancer. Of course, as with many other diseases, factors such as diet, obesity, and smoking may contribute to increased risk. For these reasons, we cannot stress enough how important it is to get screened.
September is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month, and the Health Minister says when it comes to this disease, early detection is paramount.
Regular screening can lead to early detection, which greatly improves treatment outcomes. Just as it is recommended for women to have mammograms every year, we encourage our men to add their prostate exams to their calendars. Recommended screening methods include the prostate-specific antigen, as we know, PSA test, and digital rectal exam. We also urge men not to hesitate to have this important discussion with their healthcare providers, especially those at higher risk.
The Health Minister says government remains committed to ensuring that the support systems are in place for men at risk for prostate cancer.
The decision to screen should be based on individual risk assessments and medical advice. As the Minister for Health, Wellness and Social Services, I can give you the assurance that our government has put in place the necessary facilities and support to make screening accessible to our men across the country. We are committed to improving cancer care and enhancing early detection throughout various programs and funding for research.
You are watching National Focus. More when we return. Welcome back. About 276 packages filled with the required school supplies have been distributed to school-aged children across the length and breadth of this country. This is all through the Melissa Skerritt Adopt a Child Back to School program.
The packages contain vital classroom items, backpacks with calculators and lunch bags, geometry sets, binders, composition books. I got some pretty cute fancy stationery, water bottles, lunch kits, and the list goes on. I am of the firm belief that the education of our children is to be a shared responsibility, and that the successful development of a child depends on the cooperation of the students, the parents, the school administration, as well as community members.
The parliamentary representative charged students to aim high in their education goals.
Students, be determined to achieve greater things. I want you to dream big. Do not be comfortable with only reaching out for the stars, but reach for the sun, reach for the moon, and reach for the stars. And this means that you are striving for goals which you yourself don't even believe that you can achieve. But it works. I do it all the time. You may surprise yourself. And this is how you outdo yourself. This is how you surpass your own limits.
The Honorable Skerritt expressed confidence that the students were ready to face the challenges associated with returning to school.
September heralds new beginnings for you, the students. It is a new academic year, new schools for some of you. You are entering new classrooms, tackling different subjects, meeting new teachers, gaining new friends, and embracing new opportunities. But I am confident that you are well prepared to embrace these changes.
She says government remains committed and resolute in its quest to ensure that all children are provided with a quality education. She says this is exemplified through major investments in education for the country's future leaders.
There is a provision of yearly scholarships and bursaries, school transfer grants through the government, the erection of the new schools. As you know, we are building the grammar school in Roseau, and the Goodwill School is coming up as well. Additional support for teachers and principals, and the expansion of the curriculum to include the technical vocational subjects. Over the past 2 weeks at the Roseau Central Constituency Office, we have had the distribution of textbooks, uniforms, school shoes, sports shoes, and this is one of the government's programs that has been happening every year through every single constituency, through your PAL reps. So if you have not gotten, then I implore you to get there, go to your constituency office and register.
Special mention was made of top performers from Roseau Central constituency who excelled in the Grade 6 National Assessment and the CXC exams this year.
And I want to extend my heartfelt congratulations to the students who excelled at both exams. We are so proud of you. For those who didn't achieve the results that you hoped for, remember that your journey continues. Stay dedicated and keep pushing forward, and never lose confidence in your abilities.
Honorable Skerritt said September represents a fresh start with endless possibilities, and students should see every challenge as an opportunity to grow and flourish. Minister for Education, the Honorable Octavia Alfred, says the ministry intends placing greater emphasis on non-academic areas this year. The Education Minister says the students' psychosocial well-being is a priority, and therefore time must be set aside to provide the attention it deserves.
We pay special attention to students with special needs and those who need psychosocial support. While we celebrate with those at the top, our eyes are always on those who fall behind. We also encourage schools to pay special attention to their pastoral care programs. One of the objectives for creating new positions at the secondary schools was to ensure that quality attention is being given to the psychosocial needs of our students. And this year we will be paying attention to that. We didn't release people from their timetable for nothing, you know. And one of the reasons was to make sure we're making sure children are all right, not just in school. Pick up the red flags. Do something about it. Do they have food on their table and shoes on their feet, a roof over their head and a good place to sleep? That is supposed to be school's business, because only one of these factors can affect a very intelligent child.
The Education Minister says particular attention must be placed on data analysis and says each learner must succeed.
We must also analyze our data to nitty-gritty level, paying attention to basic details so that we understand what this data is telling us and take actions to address areas of concern. When we receive 99% in a subject, of course, we must rejoice. But long before the clapping has stopped, we must ask what happened to the 1% who failed.
This year's CCSLC exams recorded an 88.4% pass rate in English and 84.2% in math. The Honourable Minister believes any drop in student performance ought to trigger an alarm, which should be followed with action.
We have to work with these students who are now in Form 4 to ensure that we bring these averages, these percentages up to CSEC level. So, if 2 years from now, in CSEC, these same children show up with 50% in English and 50% in maths. We have to sit as a Ministry of Education and ask ourselves, what went wrong? Of course, these students are 88% all of a sudden Dominica show up with. We have to face it. What went wrong? And then we have to put measures in place to fix it for the sake of our Dominican children.
Human resource development is another area of heavy investment for government.
Coupled with our educational facilities, from early childhood to college, we have invested heavily in human resource development. The Ministry of Education, and by extension the government of Dominica, has assisted teachers in pursuing higher education qualification in a wide range of subjects in order to improve the teaching and learning process. Our relentless effort at training staff on the CSEC syllabus for the various subjects has proven beneficial.
We now bring you the Creole News highlights with Jeno Jacob.
Bienvenue à ce nouvel en Creole, nom mon c'est Jeno Jacob. Collège État Dominique ouvert lundi semaine là. Plus que 600 étudiants j'ai enregistré. Gouvernement Dominique a travaillé pour développer l'éducation en Dominique. Gouvernement j'ai arrangé autant l'école et puis qu'a bâti au moins ça c'est 6 l'école 9 en Dominique. Ministère de l'Éducation honorable Octavia Alfred visite le collège là aujourd'hui pour garder manière légion qu'a agi.
Jodi là, moi venu là pour garder ces enfants là qui à l'école là. Nous t'es venu là pour faire travail pendant holiday là. Moi venu voir comment travail là fini, comment ces enfants là si confortable, comment bien qu'à aller. Et moi bien plein. Et c'est ça moi voir jodi là, manière la place là. Nous ranger ça, là ces enfants là assis pour y parler avec on et l'autre. Là c'est classe là, la présidente là, l'office, tout office là, secrétariat. Nous dit nous avons un bon chemin avec collège nous avec le gouvernement Dominique qui a continué à faire effort pour faire ce qui nous mène collège nous comment IICA avec primaire.
Quand ce monde qui en l'âge lancé moi monde qui en l'âge au 1er septembre pour 1er octobre 2024. Moi c'est honorer et puis protéger droit monde qui en l'âge. Président conseil là monsieur Nigel Lawrence dit nous compte d'autres activités pour moi là.
Le dimanche la 15, nous avons à Guambal, Goodwill Parish Hall, à Parish Hall Goodwill, à Guambal, nous avons créé ça, Song of the 60s. Ça c'est pour dire tout chanté qui était joué in the 60s, in the 1960s. Nous avons joué ces chantés là, et puis nous avons demandé aux gens venir là, venir à mes écoles. Nous avons gardé là des fois ministre. Gouvernement qui est venu assister nous là pour venir danser et puis nous demandé tout le monde, tout le peuple là pour venir assister nous, venir en bal ça là. Bal là qui a commencé à 6h soir pour 10h soir en dedans place là en parish là.
Le 19 septembre, Jolly's Pharmacy qui a un cardio jam pour les gens qui ont l'âge.
Jolly's Pharmacy qui a assisté nous, il y a un cardio jam. Il y a faire un cardio jam, il y a tout le monde ensemble en Wozo et puis il y a faire différents bagages pour exercice pour assurer au chanter comme jeune jour ça là. Et même jour ça là on dit 19 ça là nous avons c'est grand monde qui sorti Woodford Hill. Il y a aussi ni habitant il y a point tout différents hasiers et puis il y a herbs et puis il y a point ces hasiers ça là et puis il y a fait dité et puis il y a qui qualité hasier pour servir pour différents dité et puis pour boire pour qui bénéficie il est pour ça c'est un bagage nous encourager chaque monde pour faire et c'est monde ça là qui fait jour ça là et puis là il fait nous inviter tout le peuple là tout le peuple sur ça aller route for deal jour ça là
50 entreprises touristes qui tapé training là c'est en accommodation et puis ambiance OES c'est organisation États américains ceci Dominique 18 pays OES ba Dominique l'argent pour programme ça là training là Kakoi horde D pour 25 septembre Nan proje a se Tourism Sector Skills Enhancement Project. Gouvernement ka mette pli résilience en secteur touriste. Chef exécutif autorité pour découvrir Dominique, c'est Marva Williams. Changer nous en temps cyclone, nettoyer dalle qui ou en caillou, fait que ou ni bon torchlight et puis batterie neuf, vos play documents ou passeport en plastique pour que l'eau la pli pas mouiller. Ça c'est toute information à ce nouvel en créole. Non, monsieur Geno Jacob. Au revoir.
Thank you, Geno. Now for today's weather advisory. A high-pressure system is the dominant feature across the area. This is expected to result in a relatively dry atmosphere over the next 24 hours. However, light winds and daytime heating could result in an increase in cloudiness with some localized showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms during the afternoon. Slight to moderate seas can be expected in open water, with waves expected to peak near 5 feet during the next few days. Meanwhile, the National Hurricane Center is currently monitoring 2 tropical waves in the central and far eastern tropical Atlantic, with both having a low chance of development. The first wave, together with a trough ahead of it, can be expected to approach the area by the weekend. Today's hurricane tip: fill your cars with gas. And that's all for this edition of National Focus. Be sure to follow GIS Dominica on Facebook, YouTube, and on Twitter. You can also drop us an email at gis@dominica.gov.dm. From all of us here on the GIS News Production team, I am Julian Morris. Thanks for watching.